The conclusion of my paper on reflecting on the practice of mission was that the church in certain areas was weak in terms of mission and evangelism, and the suggestions that I had, and indeed attempted, were that the church needed to multiply its disciples and multiply its leaders. That is in fact the mission statement of the Diocese of Liverpool, neighbouring diocese. How to do this? Well, I looked at one particular aspect, which was to hold regular Bible and prayer sessions. Now, to many, Bible study group prayer session is something really rather academic, rather pointless, perhaps very dry. But I was looking at something different as a way of bringing outside people, non-believers, unchurched people, into the building to engage with Christians and to learn more. And that meant making these Bible study and prayer sessions actually very topical on subjects that are in the news at the present time. So, for example, we could have done a topic on a discussion on the Christian response to homelessness. We could do a session on the Christian response to social injustice and especially inequality and its obvious symptom, which is food banks. Perhaps we could even be more controversial in time and look at issues such as same-sex marriage or abortion. Now, if these sessions are advertised and are promoted through social media, through signage outside the church, through word of mouth, I actually feel that many non-believers, non-church people would actually attend, if only to go and have a go at those rather self-righteous Christians down the road. And that's the very people actually we want to be attracting, those who don't believe, those who are hostile. And once we get them into church and they actually realise we're not self-righteous people, that we have a message, that's the time when mission and evangelism really does come to the fore and can be successful in many cases, accepting it won't be all. Now, I did feel, the church itself is very active in community-based projects, but at times you do wonder whether those community-based projects are more like an offshoot of social services, and faith doesn't seem to feature that highly in it. Now, I looked at the models of churches, and I sometimes see, the Avery Dulé models. So we look at servant, and I think the church is fairly strong on that area, but fairly weak on the herald element. And what it should be aiming for is the community of disciples. So organising these sessions and using topical subjects as the hook to bring people in, I actually believe is key to rebalance the church. That's not to say we should stop doing the community events, whether that's the parish lunches or bacon butty mornings or whatever it may be. I think Graham Tomlin sums it up very well, which is, I think, if I remember rightly, without words, without actions, no one listens. Without words, no one understands. And I think that's a key line that the church needs to bear in mind. So, yes, Bible study and prayer groups, regular Bible study and prayer groups, I saw as the key to challenging the local community. And I think that is every Christian's responsibility. And trying to think who it was, Ellul, I think it was, who said that Christians need to start a revolution. Christians need, I think, to challenge the way society is. And I think that is something that the church does, but does almost devoid of faith at times. We fulfil that, third mark of mission to show love to do loving service, but we're not quite so strong on proclaiming the kingdom of God. So that was my overall reflection on it. There were a number of structural and procedural issues and difficulties and challenges within the church, which I've covered in the paper, with some attempts to address them. It does require a big cultural change within the church and within the attitude of the congregation and the church leadership. I think that can be achieved, but it has to come from within. Thank you.